There is an endless net of threads throughout the universe. At every crossing of the threads there is an individual, and every individual is a crystal bead. And every crystal bead reflects not only the light from every other crystal in the net, but also every other reflection throughout the entire universe. And this week's opening quote comes from Anne Adams. Welcome to Surviving the Matrix, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Maxwell Igan. It's a pleasure to be with you once again, and I will be your host for the next hour. You know, it's true that everything in the universe is connected. It is an endless net of threads throughout the entirety of this reality. It's just that the threads are energetic threads. And at every place these energies cross, there is indeed another individual or another event or another object or another impulse. And I include objects and impulses in there because I believe that it is indeed an energetic universe. I think that everything within reality is made of energy. I believe that the energy itself is conscious. I think that is where consciousness comes from. That is the mind of God, if you will. And I believe that all is connected. And it's this connection which is so important. And that is why such an incredible effort seems to have been undertaken by those who control this system to remove from us any knowledge of this connection, the concept that all is one. Many people will say this is New Age rubbish, this is designed to distract you and to lead you away from yourself. But really, if you understand the concept of an energetic universe, then all is connected, all is indeed one. Indeed, it has to be. That's the only way reality can really function. Because this energy permeates everything. Everything comes from the same energy. And though we may not be a single individual, perhaps saying the concept that we are all each other, although that's debatable as well, but we are all connected and we are all one because we all come from the same energetic field. And this energetic field makes up not only us who display consciousness, but all of reality. It makes up all the trees, all the oceans, all the rocks and stones. Everything that we perceive to be dead, lifeless matter is also made of this same conscious energy. Because this conscious energy is the stuff of the universe. It's the stuff of all creation. Okay, so why am I going through all this? What does this have to do with the global situation? Well, I believe it has a lot to do with it because it's this understanding of reality which helps you deal with the global situation. You know, when you understand what you are and you understand how reality works and you understand that it is an energetic universe, then you realize that energy is also displayed as emotion, and the energetic state that you're in and how you interact with the universe, how you interact with the people around you, means everything. And one of the big problems of our society, what has caused this situation to occur, is the fear energy that we are all kept in. You know, people are constantly in a state of fear. Just everything about this society is designed to generate this in people, whether they're worried about their bills or worried about whether someone's coming to get them, whether the New World Order's coming, or whether they're simply worried about what their kids are doing, or even worried about what they look like. There's always some worry, there's some fear that things may get worse at any moment. And of course, everything about our society and of course our news media promotes this fear all the time with people, letting us know that it's getting worse, we have to tighten our belts, austerity's coming, maybe a war around the corner, Ebola is sweeping across the planet, ISIS are coming to get you, the Muslim menace is going to take over the world, Fukushima is irradiating the planet, there's sunspots coming that are going to bring solar flares, Deepwater Horizon oil spill is going to destroy the oceans, There may be comets on the way. Global warming is coming to destroy us all. The whole planet's going to heat up. We're all going to die. Peak oil's coming. We're going to have no fuel. All the fish stocks are dying. The bees are falling out of the air. The birds are falling out of the air. There's a hole in the ozone layer. World War III's on the way. The Russian menace is coming to bomb us all out of existence. And there may be an alien invasion or a zombie apocalypse right around the corner. But never mind, because at 7 o'clock, the X Factor is on TV and our boys in the military are going to make everything good, and all you really need to know is that your government is here to protect you. So you get out there and work hard, and if you're stressed, the best thing you can do is go shopping, folks. Just go shopping. That helps everything. Well, that's what they tell us anyway. In times of great tragedy and huge moral crisis and absolute global upheaval, go shopping. I think I've gone somewhat off topic with this discussion. So back to what I was talking about with the nature of energy and the nature of the universe and why it is important to understand that it is an energetic universe and to understand how important a role emotions play in reality. Because the way you interact with people around you and the way you interact with reality and the energetic state that you're in, the emotional state that you're in, makes a huge difference. It makes a huge difference to your intentions, whether you know it or not. And it makes a huge difference to the outcome of any situation. And one of the big problems that we've had is that we're kept in a state of fear and frustration and basically in impotence. We feel like we can't do anything. We feel like we are absolutely powerless against this system. And it causes all sorts of negative energies to generate within us, which basically is what makes us powerless. And I believe this is because we don't truly realize who and what we are. We don't truly realize what the universe is and how we are connected to all that is. And I think if we have that basic knowledge, which doesn't mean we're off on some airy-fairy New Age idea, it just means we understand a little bit more about how reality works and how to interact with reality. And I believe that if we could all do this, it would be a huge benefit in making a difference to what's going on this planet, because it would change the way we apply ourselves to the world. It will change the way we apply ourselves to other people and the way we interact with other people. It'll change the way we interact with this system, because it changes the way you view the system. It changes the way you view the politicians. It changes the way you view figures of authority, just by simply understanding that it's all about energy. And for more on this, there's actually a show that I did way back in 2009. I think I repeated it again in the beginning of this year, and it's called The Energetic Universe. I suggest you look through the Crowhouse Radio archives for earlier in 2014 and you'll find, or maybe late 2013, you'll find this show, The Energetic Universe. We're actually going to quite an in-depth conversation about the nature of reality. And this sort of an understanding has really helped me in the way I deal with things. And that's why I'm talking about it now, just in the hope that it will help you as well. Because I know things can get a little frustrating. They certainly do for me. I was a little frustrated with last week's show. Just seeing G20 happening here in this country, seeing how much the country was locked down. I mean, and we're not even a threat, but it shows how much these people are worried that they're going to get shot. It shows how criminal they are and how much they know they are criminals, that they are so terrified that someone will take a pot shot at them, because the whole world knows they're criminals as well. And the fact that they locked the city down so much and to such a degree shows how terrified these people are of the general public. And that in itself speaks volumes. And so that got me a little frustrated last week. But it is important, I believe, for people to understand how reality works and understand that it is an energetic universe, understand the energetic state that they're in, because when you can understand this, it makes it possible for you to stand up. It gives you the strength you need to be able to stand up and have a voice. And that's really what we need at the moment, folks. So we need a lot of strong voices and a lot of determined people to stand up and call a spade a spade. You know, I really believe that if people can empower themselves with true knowledge of their humanity, then they can realize that the people that are carrying out all of these crimes against humanity on the planet, all the things that our governments are doing, we begin to see the humanity in them as well. We realize that they're just people and they're criminals. They're doing the wrong thing, folks. I mean, why do we have to struggle for everything? Why do we have to struggle and litigate and start petitions and start public actions and all the things we do just to have clean air and clean water and clean food? Why do we have to struggle and litigate and undertake public actions and marches and protests just to get something new done in our community? Why do we have to put up with every single piece of legislation these criminals and governments put in place which put us in hardship? Why do we just take this? They're just people. They're just human beings. And not only are they just human beings, they're actually people that we employ as public servants. And yet all these people do is steal from us, commit crimes, and reduce the world to the state that we now see before us today. And we undertake all sorts of legal actions and vote people in and vote people out and do all sorts of stuff which is completely meaningless. Why don't we just call a spade and stand up and say, hey, you guys are criminals. Exhibit A, the earth. You've done all of this. All the legislation you've put in place, which has allowed this corporate rape of this planet, has allowed all of this homelessness and starvation and human degradation to occur. It's all because of legislation you guys have put in place. We don't need any of this legislation, and as far as international law goes, we only need one. All war is illegal, and anyone who instigates a war of aggression goes straight to jail. Simple as that. That's the only international law that we need. I really believe that if humankind woke up to the potential of themselves and woke up to their own humanity and woke up to the fact that we're just all people on this planet playing a game together and we don't have to play by anybody's rules, especially if those rules are bad, if we could just wake up to ourselves, we could change the world in a day. But we can't do it by constraining ourselves within the parameters that have been written for us by the criminals who are currently doing all the damage on the planet. We've got to step above this, folks, and realise what's going on here. We're being scammed. We're being played like a fiddle. And if we can realise that this is an energetic universe and we can change our perspective and change the way we interact with each other enough to have united communities, and we can stand up and fix the whole thing. And the fact that I can see this and the fact that I know how easy it would be, well, this is what gets me so frustrated on these shows. And this is why I repeat myself so much on these shows, because when I look at the direction the world is going, and I see how simple the solution could be, well, I just can't help but get a little frustrated. And actually something else I'd like to address here as well, just because of some of the feedback I've been getting, is what I've been saying about the strength of an empowered community, how we need to build community, and that is the way we're going to address this problem. Now, you notice when I say that, I'm saying it as a singular form. When I say we need to build community, what do you think I'm saying? I'm not saying we need to go and build alternate communities. I'm saying we need to build community. We need to build common unity in this community that we have. I'm completely against going and building alternate communities, because I believe by doing so you're isolating yourself from the larger community, and we don't want to isolate ourselves because they'll just leave you alone and they'll come and pick you off later. We need to fix this community that we live in now. When I tell people you need to build community, what I'm saying is you need to get to know your neighbours, get to know the people in your local area, in your local community, and start some rapport with these people. Start operating in respect with these people. Because if you have a strong local community, then there's nothing the public trustees can do. If you got one town that was, I don't know, how big, whatever, 5,000 people, 10,000 people, 20,000 people, but if you got one local community that all understood themselves and understood how reality works and actually respected themselves and operated in integrity in all that they do, then there's nothing any local council could do to hold that community back. And any legislation that local council tried to put in, the community would just stomp it out, because they respect each other and they stand united for a better future. And if everybody adopts this attitude within their own community, and then you extrapolate that out to include an entire city, and then an entire state, and then an entire country, then what can the government do? If the people of the country, if the people of our society, of our community actually know who and what they are and stand in integrity, then when the government chooses to introduce corrupt legislation, there's absolutely nowhere for them to go. And not only that, but they expose themselves by doing so. And if the community is empowered enough, then these people would be instantly removed from office. And that's what we need. You see, we just have to readjust our perspective. And we need to rediscover and remember who and what we are. You see, our problem is that we live in divided communities. We live in a divided social system. It's a social system which has been designed specifically to divide us. And that's a huge clue. This is something that I've been saying for 6 or 7 years on these radio shows here. The divided structure of this community, the fact that we measure ourselves and we measure other people by their social or economic standing is the problem.